Think Life Coaching, empowering you to achieve your goals. Hi, friends. It's me, Coach Shiv from Think Life Coaching. Today's video is about comparison. Why do we keep comparing ourselves to others? What drives this desire to compare? I think it begins from childhood. Parents comparing their children to other children. School, we are compared to other students. At sport, we get into this comparison business. So we are conditioned to compare. We feel we are in a race all the time. And that's what happens when we grow up. We're still in that comparison mode, comparing jobs, status, money, so many things that we get into comparing ourselves with other people. We think we are in a race, and if we are not out the front, we're going to be left behind. But think about a conventional race. What are the components? There's a start, there's a path or a track, and there's a finish. So if you look at, let's say, a 100-meter running race, all the participants, they start at the same point, they run the same distance, same track, and they finish at the same point. So that's a race. One person might finish in 10 seconds, somebody else in 11 seconds, somebody in 15 seconds. So it's easy to rate them. Who was first, who was second, and so on. Take a school examination. Once again, it's a valid race. If you're taking a particular exam, all the students taking that exam are doing the same subject, the same paper, the same syllabus, and the same amount of time. So that's a valid race. But what about life? Is it fair to call it a race? Let's look at it. We live our lives from B to D. That's from birth to death. And what's between B and D? It's a C. And C stands for choices. The choices that we make. That dictates our path. So our lives are journey from B to D via C, or a BCD journey. Would you agree? Now, don't you think that every single one of us on this planet has got a BCD journey that's unique? Because we all start differently, take different paths, and end differently. So when our journeys are that unique, when our BCDs are that unique, how could we compare ourselves to each other? It's not a valid comparison, is it? You must have heard of the story of the bamboo and the fern. These two seeds, a bamboo seed and a fern seed, they were planted in the ground at the same time. The fern seed starts sprouting after a few weeks. It gets bigger. It starts growing, looking healthy, green, lush, vibrant, starts spreading on the ground. In the meantime, what's happening to the poor bamboo seed? It's still under the ground. No sign of it. This carries on for years. For years, there's no sign of the bamboo sprouting while the fern is thriving. Now, if the bamboo seed had looked at that and thought, I'm never going to make it, this fern is way ahead of me, I'm useless, I better give up this race. If the bamboo seed had thought like that, but it can't think like that because it's a plant. Fortunately, plants don't have self doubts like humans. They don't look at other plants and start thinking of themselves and their journeys and their race. Because after about 4 or 5 years, which is how long it takes for a bamboo shoot to start emerging from the ground, within a few weeks, the bamboo shoots up to a height of 100 feet. So different rates of growth. And both of them serve their own purpose. A fern has its own purpose. A bamboo has its own purpose. But they grow differently. A bamboo tree takes 5 years to develop strong roots because it's got to grow that high, needs a strong foundation. Humans could be like that too. We all have our own rates of growth. We all grow differently. So there really is no sense in us comparing to each other and feeling either superior or inferior. So, my friend, the next time you feel this comparisonitis start to hit you, think of the journey BCD and think of the bamboo tree.